Very good morning, children, and welcome back to our recorded classes. I'm happy to see most of you all have attended the class test. I've corrected just a few of them. I will correct your test papers very soon and send the marks to you all. My sincere thanks to all your parents for their support. Otherwise, our recorded classes would not have been a success. And children, I would want to let you all know that I will be calling you all and asking questions. Be ready for that. And also request you all to write your classwork and homework as instructed. Please keep reading and do not waste your time. In today's session, what I will be teaching you all is a recap of what we learned in the previous session. We'll also continue with the poem Meadow Surprises. We look into some vocabulary, after which I will start off a new lesson, a letter from a mother. We will look into some vocabulary from the lesson. Then we'll also learn grammar, how to write informal letter. Then we'll summarize what we did, and finally we'll let you know what your classwork and homework is. Let's get started with today's session with a quick recap of what we learned in the previous session. We learned how the poet explains nature. He sees the beautiful garden where the cattle and the sheep are fed upon. He also tells us about the stream and also the butterflies and the hopping of rabbits. We also did learn glossaries, that is, a few meanings from the poem. Let's start off with the poem and see what the poet has to say. A dandelion whose fuzzy head was golden days ago has turned to airy parachutes that flutter when you blow. Explore the meadow houses, the burrows in the ground, a nest beneath tall grasses, the ants' amazing mound. Oh, meadows have surprises and many things to tell. You may discover these yourself if you look and listen well. I have recited the poem for you all. I want each one of you all to go through the poem the same way as I did. And also find all the new words and mark them in your reader with a pencil. Now let me explain the three stanzas. The poet says, above all, you will find wildflower plants like the dandelion. There are burrows also in the ground. Now, burrows in the poem means a hole in the ground made by an animal. Some animals makes hole and they stay inside the ground. So that is called a burrow. And in fact, the meadows are full of surprises. The poet knows how to see and listen and wants to discover them himself. But he says, if you all have a chance to go to a park or a meadow, he wants you all to discover the beauty of nature. He wants you all to see the surprises. But to see the surprises, you'll have to listen and watch carefully. That's what the poet is asking. He says, enjoy the nature to the fullest. Hope you all have understood the poem, children. Let's look at some word meanings now. Fluffy. Fluffy means something soft like wool or fur. And that is the dandelion flower. As the poet says, earlier it was golden in color. So I put up both the pic. Discover, to learn something new. parachute. This is how a parachute looks, children. And mound is a heaped pile of earth. As you can see in the picture, how the earth is heaped or piled. Burrow. A burrow is a tunnel or hole in the ground that is dug by an animal. Now here comes the end of the poem, children. Let's start off with a new lesson. Okay? Let's start another lesson then. A letter from mother. Before I start off the lesson, I just want to share a thought. Now, most of us at home feel mothers are very strict, but we do not know the reason behind why mothers are strict. And when they are strict, we feel, oh, my mother is very bad. My mother doesn't like me. But do you all even know why your mothers are that? No, you all don't know the reason. Children, let me tell you all, mothers are strict for our own good. We will not realize it today, but as we grow older, we will know why our mothers were strict, why they did that to us. Only if you realize why, you will not have that question, why my mother is like this. You will always have a positive way of thinking in telling, my mother is always right. So, in today's lesson, let's see how a mother feels. Turn to page 31, a letter from mother. Dear Poonam, it is strange to write because I'm so used to you being close by. We say a lot without words, you know, but now you are away and I can't help but think of how you're growing up so quickly. So, this is only the first of more times apart until, like a bird, you will be ready to fly away. It will be my greatest joy to see you strong and confident, even as it brings me sorrow to be apart. Being apart may be a good thing in this way. It makes me put into words those things I feel and think but don't say. For instance, it pleases me that you are so strong minded and persistent. You are not easily discouraged, even when you don't succeed at first. Remember the time you couldn't do your multiplication tables? The teacher was going faster than you could manage, and you felt bad that you were unable to keep up. But you made your own study card and asked me and Daddy to help you. And when you succeeded finally in learning those tables, you were independent enough to think through your problems, but responsible enough to ask for help to learn. I read the lesson for you, children. I want you all to read the lesson and also underline all the new words that you find in pencil in the reader. Not only that, I want you all to frame sentences for the words help, joy, and teacher. I want you all to frame sentences and send it via the WhatsApp for me. Now, let me explain the lesson for you all. Now, this lesson, A Letter from Mother, is written by Mary Anna Kane. A mother writes a letter to her daughter, Poonam, who is studying in a residential school. Residential school means a boarding. It is not known why the mother put the child there, but the mother thinks that it is strange to write letter because her daughter was always close by and they used to understand each other with few words spoken to each other. But now her daughter is away from home and she is growing up quickly and is also ready to fly like a bird. Now, she is also overjoyed to see her daughter strong and confident, even though it is sorrowful to be apart from her daughter. The mother advises her daughter of being apart and growing up independently. She will be pleased to see her daughter grow up strong-minded and persistent. She was not easily discouraged, even when she didn't succeed at first. She asks her daughter to remember how she couldn't do her multiplication tables when the teacher was going faster than her daughter could manage, and she was left bad when she was unable to keep up. But she had made her own study card and asked her mother and father for help. After that, she would independently solve her own problems, but also be responsible enough to ask them for help. We will stop till here, children. Hope this explanation was very clear. Let's look at some word meanings now. Strange, difficult to understand or explain. Apart, away from each other. Confident, feeling or showing confidence in oneself or one's abilities or qualities. Sorrow, deep distress or sadness. Persistent is the ability to stick with something. Are you all ready to frame sentences? Let's look at these sentences. Strong. The crane is a large and strong bird. This is how a crane looks. Succeed. He wants to succeed in everything he does. Manage. How did he manage to keep everything in such a good condition? Now, let's look at grammar. In today's session, we will learn how to write informal letter. Before that, what is informal letter writing? An informal letter is written to close family, friends, relatives, etc. An informal letter is commonly used for personal communication. An informal letter can be composed in almost any way you prefer, but there are a few guidelines. The beginning consists of the sender's address and date. Then the whole informal letter consists of three sections. The first one is the opening of the letter, the second is the body of the letter, and the last is the closing of the letter. In the next section, I will teach you all step by step how to write a letter, and you should be able to write letter to your friends, families and relatives very shortly. Okay? Let's summarize all we have learned today. We continued with the lesson, the Meadow Surprises. We also learned a few word meanings from Meadow Surprises. Then we also learned a new chapter, a letter from mother, few word meanings from the lesson, and we also learned how to frame sentences. Not only that, we also started with informal letter writing. I know most of you all would have learned the formal letter writing and informal letter writing in your previous class, but this is just a refresh for those who do not know what letter writing is all about. And now comes the last part of our session, which is homework and classwork. Children, please pay attention. For your homework, write the poem Meadow Surprises once in your homework book neatly. I repeat once again, please write the poem Meadow Surprises, the whole poem, in your homework book once. And in the next couple of days, I will randomly call you all and ask you all to recite the poem orally. So be ready for that. And for your classwork, I will be sending a pic via the WhatsApp. You have to write the summary as I have written in the book. If you have any questions, children, please call me and clarify your doubts or message me. Until we meet in the next session, take care, stay safe, and be positive always. This is Ma'am Anna signing off.